underestimate SB and Sean, breaking through the noise, serving real talk, the genuine choice. No pretense, no hidden schemes, just sports passion fueling dreams. From the field to the court, every play that's made, real takes over fake debates. Turn it up, hear the honest sound, unfiltered sports all year round. Discussions pure, no masquerade, real takes over fake debates. Turn it up, over fake debates. Real takes over fake debates. Real takes over fake debates.
We are live. Sbtalksports and Sean Webb. Real takes over fake debates. Sean, it is Monday. It feels like a Monday. It feels like a Monday. How you doing today, brother?
Doing all right, man. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Salute to everybody in the chat watching. Also, join the RTOFD membership, and perks come with that when you join. It's the join button right on the video. Join and come as a member and a member of Real Takes Over Fake Debates. We got a lot of things to talk about. Salute to the chat. Salute Tiffany. Salute Cottage. Salute Trap Cash Show. What's going on, everybody? Show. We got a lot of things to talk about. That's going on in the world, sports world. You know, we passed NBA All-Star Weekend. We getting into the NFL offseason. Draft combines coming up. Players probably going to be on the move. We got to also talk about teams after the trade deadline. There's a lot of hype going on. Luka Magic, looking back like Luka Magic. People in the NFL want a certain team special play band, and it ain't the Philly special, but it's in Philly. But we got to go start off right up top with player movement. Rams grant Matthew Stafford permission to speak with other teams. The list of teams that's allegedly interested in him goes from the Steelers, the Browns, and the Giants. Are you shocked to hear this news? And if teams at the age that Matthew Stafford is at, should teams be bringing the Rams phone to try to get Matthew Stafford quarterback for them?
I think the Raiders are on the list as well, of teams that are interested as well. No, I'm not surprised that teams are interested in Matthew Stafford. I think a couple things to consider. Number one, it's not a great quarterback draft class in terms of guys who will get drafted very high and come in and start for teams day one. Obviously, this is a 2-quarterback draft. And there's some question about where those guys will be drafted because you're basing a lot of the scouting is based on previous drafts, and there are guys that have said if these guys were in last year's draft, they wouldn't be in the top 6 quarterbacks taken, which we know 6 were taken in the first round last year. So not surprised. It's a depressed market. I think Matthew Stafford, has shown, obviously, since he's been with the Rams, the propensity to win and winning a Super Bowl and winning some playoff games. And, they played very well against the Eagles in the playoffs. So, teams are going to be looking at that. I'm not surprised because of the market. There's more jobs than people view.
Yes.
Guys who can walk in and play for a team from day one. But I think there are a couple things to consider here, SB. Number one, I don't think the Rams necessarily want to move on from Matthew Stafford. I think the Rams understand where Matthew Stafford is at this point in his career. And it's basically year to year at this point with Matthew Stafford.
Pretty much.
So are you going to commit, $50+ million a year, which will put him in the top 10 quarterbacks paid in the league, not knowing whether or not he's going to be there, long term? And the Rams have, I think, the second youngest team in the NFL. Yeah. They, over the last couple of years, have turned their roster over and have gone from being really veteran to really young. And we always talk about timelines and how you build teams. Well, from their perspective, I think they're going to be maybe not this year, but in the next year or so, going to be looking for their quarterback of the future. Mm-hmm. And that for them probably isn't Matthew Stafford, just given his age and how long he's been playing. And again, as we said, that he's probably year to year at this point. So it makes sense for them to at least kind of understand what the market is for Matthew Stafford. And if there's an opportunity for them to make a deal for Matthew Stafford with another team where they get assets back, then they'll do it. And I know that they apparently really like Jimmy Garoppolo, who was their backup last year. Mm-hmm. We know Jimmy Garoppolo is not a long-term answer, more than likely, but he's a bridge potentially for them. They could be in on, someone like Sam Darnold potentially because of his age and things of that nature. So I think there's a lot of things at play here, but I think the primary thing is, both sides, I think, want to continue together, but I think both sides also recognize that, we have a price point that we think you're at this point in your career. Stafford thinks he's at a certain price point based on his performance. So you get why, where they're at the place where they're at. But it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out and if anything happens before the new league year starts.
Yeah. Now, for me, it's like you said, the quarterback market is kind of low when it comes to this draft. But also, it's like a lot of other vets going to be on the move. So it's like the teams that should probably be looking, unless you like a quarterback away, I think you should be trying to maybe go get Stafford. But then he's like, okay, you got Aaron Rodgers, Sam Darnold, Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, now Matthew Stafford. It ain't that many. Then you got Shador and you got Cam Ward coming in. So it's like it ain't that many gonna be that jobs available. To even Stafford was we finna talk about the price point in a second. The price point that he asked me for too is like I might have to skip on him if I was any other team. And I can get why the Steelers, I think that's what place he should be trying to go to. Steelers, okay, they Steelers feel like they're a great quarterback away from being that next level team. You see how good they was with Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson played average, a little bit above average sometimes. They was winning games. For me though, this is where my concern comes to play in though, Sean. Matthew Stafford is seeking $50 million per year. And I mean, you know what I'm saying? My math is mathing on this man age. He's 37. I'm not paying the 37-year-old quarterback $50 million. I can't do it. $50 million a year and you on a 2-year? No. I get why you want to leave the Rams. They going young. But for me, Sean, I think $50 million, no matter how solid or good Matt Stafford is, that's a little bit high of an asking price for me.
And
I'm wrong for thinking that.
No, not at all. And I would say this. The question for Matthew Stafford at this point, is this about still trying to win, or is this about trying to get another bag before you hang him up? And if you're asking for $50 million per year, it seems to be more about trying to get another bag before you hang him up. I'm going to push back on something you said, though, SB. The Steelers are not just a quarterback away. They don't have – their offensive weapons are not great. If we're being honest.
It's our receivers, right?
Their receivers outside of Pickens aren't great. They got a really solid tight end in Freiermuth. I think he's really solid.
Yes, I like it.
but their running backs are okay, but none of those guys are under contract. And their offensive line has gotten better over the last couple of years. But so to say they're a quarterback away, I think is probably not being honest. And again, from the Steelers' perspective, I understand their thing at this point is they have not been back to the Super Bowl in 15 years, and obviously they haven't won a playoff game in 8 years. So their thing is they want to win a playoff game. But again, Matthew Stafford's a Band-Aid. He's not a long-term answer. And that's, to me, from an organizational perspective, I think they got to figure out a long-term answer at that position, coupled with the fact that they also need to improve the offensive weapons for whoever the quarterback is next season.
Do you think just how big of the drought is for them that maybe putting a Band-Aid on it just actually might be worth it just to get that one playoff win since they ain't won in 8 years? Do you think because the drought has been that bad that it's working?
I think in Pittsburgh, the standard is not winning a playoff game. The standard is going to the Super Bowl and trying to win the Super Bowl. And if they don't think that any move is going to put them in the Super Bowl, and again, I think that's why they were so enamored with Russell Wilson, because Russell Wilson has obviously won a Super Bowl and played in 2 Super Bowls. That's their mission. That's their goal. But again, at some point, you got to say, hey, listen, we have to find a long-term answer. We're in a division where we got 2 teams that have that we're going to have to compete with for the next 10 years because they have their quarterback, presumably for the next 10 years, in Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow. We've got to figure that out. And also, again, adding the offensive weapons, and also they got some guys on their defense getting up there as well. Cameron Hayward's not getting any younger. They got some guys that's starting to get a little long in the tooth, so they got to have to start to figure out that piece as well. But I don't think there's a single team who's in the quarterback market that's a quarterback away. I think every team that's in the quarterback market has other issues as well. I've heard people say, "Oh, Cleveland's just a quarterback away." No, they're not. They have other issues. So we have to take a holistic approach to how we look at these teams. But from Pittsburgh's perspective, it is not just the quarterback. It's much more than that.
But out of all the jobs that you've seen that's available, and you are a quarterback or Matt Stafford, which job should be the most intriguing for you, or which one he should be going for? The teams that we hear available, that's the Steelers, that's the Giants, the Browns. What was the other team?
The Raiders.
The Raiders. So which job would you go for, or you think Matthew Stafford should go for?
I mean, for me, I think the job he should go for is the one he has right now. Because they have a lot of young talent. And again, you got to give them credit because, again, they remember a few years ago, they were trading all of their picks away to bring in, the Jalen Ramseys and, the Von Millers, and they were doing all this stuff. And they've been able to turn that roster over to the point where, again, they got Kyron Williams and they got Puka Nacua and they got Jared Verse and Braden Fisk, and they got some really young, really good players on both sides of the ball. You're in a division that, let's be honest, is still very winnable. You go to Pittsburgh, even if he goes to Pittsburgh, they're still tracking behind the Ravens, So I just don't see. The grass ain't always greener, as the old saying goes. I don't think that, there's a job out there better than where he is right now today. Now, it doesn't mean that a team can't do a major, makeover in free agency in the draft, and then puts them in a different conversation. But to be very frank, I just don't see there being a walk-in situation for him right now and outside of the Rams.
Tiffany said the Jets. I don't know if you want that Jets job. New coach though.
Yeah, but bad ownership.
Well, still the squad need more help at linebacker and wide receiver too. Yeah, I mean, let's go. So, for me, if I had to pick, if I had to leave, and it's like you said, if I had to leave, obviously he wants the money. It's tough, like, because every other team, if he leaves the round, I actually kind of agree with you on the point that the best place for him is the Rams, but I'm gonna give my pick as if I had to pick, because if you really look at it like, okay, leave the Rams, go to the Steelers. That division's tough. You go to the Browns, that's the still same division. That's tough. You go to the Giants, that division is tough. You go to the Raiders, that division is tough. So it's like it would make more sense for him to stay, but obviously, like you said, Sean, he's not chasing the ring, he's chasing the bag. And the Rams don't want to pay him $50 million for a good reason. He's 37. But if I had to pick, I'll probably go Steelers. I'll probably go. If I had to pick, I'll go to the Steelers. To get a chance to play for Mike Tomlin is something you can't pass up. Since we're on top of the quarterbacks, and we're going to go to the draft coming up, top quarterback prospect Shedeur Sanders will not be throwing at the NFL Combine. He's projected to go maybe top 5, maybe 1. He will throw at the Colorado Pro Day. I think that was more to help his receivers to get them some looks on the field. It was questions about Shedeur's arm strength and maybe like mobility. I think it was a question about Shedeur. But do you think this is a good or bad thing that Shedeur Sanders will not be throwing at the NFL Combine?
Yeah, I think it doesn't matter if he throws at the Combine. Honestly, he doesn't benefit from throwing at the Combine on any level. The Combine is not as controlled an environment as the Pro Day, because with the Pro Day, you're able to script, 50 throws to guys that you've been throwing to for him the last 2 seasons minimally. So it only makes sense for him to do this. Apparently, Cam Ward is not going to throw at the Combine either. That's the word right now. He's not going to throw at the Combine. It makes sense because there's nothing they can do to help their draft value on the field at the Combine. The Combine for them is just getting a chance to initially meet with teams that may be interested in them, go through the interview process. But from an on-field perspective, they don't benefit from that at all. Who benefits from it are the Jackson Darts of the world, the Jalen Milrose, the Dylan Gabriels, those kind of next tier, the Kyle McCords, those next tier quarterbacks who are looking to kind of raise their draft stock a little bit. That's who benefits from him not throwing. So no, he doesn't need to throw. He's Shedeur, by virtue of his dad, he understands this process, and he's not going to do anything to hurt himself in this process potentially.
Yeah, I have to 100% actually agree on that. There's no point for Shedeur to There's no point of Shedeur throwing at the NFL Combine. He's projected to go at minimum top 5, and is really they say at 6 only because the Raiders are at 6. But he's a top 5 quarterback you pick. There's no reason for him to throw. It's nothing. Only thing they can do is make your draft stock go down. No, he's not. There's no purpose. Shedeur, you're doing the right thing. And like you said, you brought up Coach Brown. Shedeur already prepared for the process of everything that he has to go through. I honestly think like he's kind of like more mentally prepared than a lot of people because of who his dad is and how the spotlight's been on him this whole time. He's going to be kind of more prepared than anybody. So we'll see how it goes. I don't know what Shedeur going to go, though, because is NFL free agency before the draft, right? Or after?
No, before.
Okay. Before, because that's going to throw a monkey wrench in a lot of stuff, too, depending on, like, okay, the Giants go get Stafford, and then they go draft Cam Ward. Then what do you do now?
Yeah, and also I think a couple things to consider. Like I know there's a lot of mock drafts out right now. Mm-hmm. I don't go crazy over mock drafts right now because we haven't had free agency yet. Mm-hmm. Free agency can change a team's draft board significantly. So all the mock drafts that are put out, they're fun, but they have no, in my opinion, no real value right now pre-free agency. It's after free agency, rolling up to the draft, when you see guys going on visits and things like that, that the mock drafts probably, tend to be a little more accurate. But even then, it's all guesswork for the most part, besides those who have, inside information. So, yeah.
And also, I don't really lock in on like the mock draft. So, like you said, after the free agency. So I like looking at them to see what people like seeing what they got. Certain people that be like, "Oh man, you crazy for having this dude this low or this person too high." Also, too, I'm looking at another report. Ashton Genty also won't be working out at the NFL Combine. Which,
right? Yeah. No reason to. I would say this: if you're a guaranteed first round pick, and most of the guys who are not working out are guaranteed first round picks, The only benefit for you going to the combine is getting a chance to meet with teams. It's not, I call it the underwear Olympics, and because that's literally what it is. It's and I should name it after someone. It's the Vernon Golston underwear Olympics, because some guys go there and they out there running around and they look like the most spectacular thing you've ever seen. But then when they put the pads on and it's somebody, actually having to, they got to go against, it's not the same world. So, it's not, I'm not saying the combine doesn't have value. I just think it tends to be blown up more as a way to keep the NFL in this 24/7 cycle it likes to be in.
Yeah, you got to keep yourself hot in the media, man. You gotta keep it going, keep the content coming. But Sean, an unnamed team has proposed that the Tush Push to be banned. Then I seen it earlier. Then later it came out. Of course, it was these cheesehead son of always want to propose and break something when they lose. The team that proposed banning the Tush Push is no other than the NFL's villain, more like the Chicago Bears villain, the Green Bay Packers. What is your reaction to this? I don't know what is their case for banning it. Obviously, just they can't stop it. They said every time somebody bring up the safetyness of it, they say it's no injury concern. Even if me and you could look at it from the outside looking in and be like, "Ooh, man, all the people falling each other, that's probably bad." But nobody really got hurt from it yet, so it's hard to use the injury one. So what else you saying? And also, if shout out MJ, Real Talk MJ, he made good content. He's like the Eagles guy. He made a video talk about this, and also during the video, it showed that the Packers tried to do the Tush Push, and it went terribly wrong. So maybe you can't beat them, join them, didn't work. So if I can't join them, then we gonna ban it, I guess. But what's your reaction to the Tush Push getting banned? Should it be banned? Why not?
No, it shouldn't be banned. Again, I think there's a couple of things. Obviously, the Eagles they don't call it Tush Push, they call it something else. But I call it the brotherly shove. Or something. I call it the brotherly shove because it really originated with them. A lot of times when teams propose to ban this type of stuff, the question is, from a competition committee perspective, is whether or not it's a football play. Mm-hmm. And there's a fine line. This is not uncommon in rugby. Well, there's elements of rugby that do exist in football, and there's elements in rugby that don't exist in football. I think the competition committee is going to have to figure out and decide whether or not they believe this is a non-football play that needs to go away. My belief is they will not ban it. The Ravens actually run a version of it, but they use Mark Andrews under center to run it. So it's not like other teams don't run it. It's just the Eagles have been obviously the most successful, running it. But that said, it's kind of soft, from the Packers' perspective, and but ultimately it's going to come down to the competition committee, making a recommendation, and based on their recommendation, the teams voting on it, and if there's a majority vote, then the teams they'll remove the play or ban the play. But I don't see that happening, in all honesty.
And then my thing is, like, also, I'm glad you brought the Ravens one. The reason why the Ravens ain't gonna do it because they quarterback ain't squatting what Jalen Hurts squatting. Jalen Hartstrong did a mug. Jalen Hartstrong did a mug, dog. Like, if you ever see like workout, see what he's squatting, he can do the Tush Push and survive. He'll be all right. Lamar Jackson, I want to see Lamar Jackson in that situation get piled on at all.
Yeah.
No pushing, nothing.
Yeah, and I will say, kind of a sneaky story around this is Cam Jurgens, the Eagles center. He had back surgery after the Super Bowl. He's going to be out until at least I think the beginning of training camp, as I understand it. He's kind of the one who takes the majority of the brunt of the weight on him being underneath the pile of the Tush Push or the brotherly shove. So the Eagles may try to modify it given his, back situation, don't know. I'm just, spitballing here. But, so I think that's kind of the sneaky story around it. If, teams are saying, well, their center got hurt or this is why their center has a back injury. They can't confirm that, but they may try to push that as part of the narrative to ban it.
But it's as annoying it is to see the tush push. Even Tiffany in the chat saw banned it because of Josh Allen and his fake touchdown. Now you gonna keep seeing Josh Allen with them touchdowns and fake touchdowns. Even though how annoying the tush push is, I don't think it should be banned. At the end of the day, it's a play on football. You got to figure out a way to stop it, just like everything else, another play. So it'd be like it is what it is. Because you're gonna get hurt on the football field. Anything can get you hurt on the football field. You try to use the center back injury from tush push, he could have just got injured on a regular play. Maybe he could pull something. So you don't know. But I'm not surprised that the Packers did this. This is something the Packers would do. Got to read it all over them. And if the Eagles play the Packers next season, I'll run the tush push 20 times that game just to be petty. Every touchdown, we're not throwing a touchdown. When you catch it, stop at the 1 yard line, just so we can do the tush push every time, just to be petty. That's what I would do. But also, Sean, my question is this: if the tush push was to get banned, will that nerf the Eagles?
No.
Okay.
No.
I mean, it helps a lot, though.
I mean, it helps because teams can't stop it. But the beauty of coaching and these guys being professionals is they'll figure out another way to still dominate, so no. And they still have Saquon Barkley. So
we got Saquon. No. Also, speaking of the Eagles, let's get into this story real quick. We don't like doing like the politic talk, but it's just something we just have to talk about real quick. So it was reported from let me check our text real quick. It was reported. I want to get the exact source of the place that I got this from the first one. And Adam Schefter corrected the second one. So it was reported that the Eagles was going to be a massive no to going to the White House. Obviously, you win, you go to the White House. This was reportedly from the Sun. And come to find out, I'm going to read it exactly. He said, according to a well-placed insider discussion between the Eagles and players and their front office results in a massive no when asked if they would accept an invitation to the White House to honor the Super Bowl victory. It was so bad of it being capped that Adam Schefter actually had to report it. The exact report to those who wondered. Eagle sources say the team is planning on visiting the White House this offseason and looking forward to receive its invitation. So, what's your reaction to this report in general, Sean?
So, I think a couple things need to put into context. So, when the Eagles won the Super Bowl in 2018, they did get an invitation from the White House, but a large contingent of their players and personnel did not want to go. The Eagles were going to still send that smaller contingent to the White House, and the White House rescinded the invitation. I would expect it to be very similar to 2018. The Eagles, from a PR perspective, have to say, yes, hey, we're looking forward to going to the White House and blah, blah, blah. But I would expect, just like in 2018, even though it's different players now, some different players now, that they will, in fact, a large contingent of their players will not go to the White House and will want to go to the White House.
But what if they do, though?
If they do, I'm not one to tell a grown person what to do. You ultimately have to make that decision. But I think it is prudent to understand what going may invariably say, and what it may invariably say is you care more about receiving this one-day designation at the White House than you do about what's going on in this current landscape that we're living in. And I'm trying to be very, very careful about what I say, because obviously,
Yeah,
I want to be mindful of, what we are.
Don't do politics, bro. What's on it? What's on it?
I can do now. Don't get it wrong. I can do politics, but but I want to be very clear that with some of the policies and the initiatives going on right now, that when a large segment of your base and players are Black, and you are essentially rolling away progressive policies, going to the White House looks like may give the perception that you're okay with that.
Right.
And again, I'm not one to tell a grown person what to do, but I think there was a reason why a large contingency did not want to go in 2018. And there's going to be a large reason why many of them don't want to go in 2025. And so, yeah.
For me, there's two things that you said. The first thing is tell a grown man what to do. One, at the end of the day, I'm stick with the sports side. No matter how I truly feel, other side, like I said, sport, I do not care. If you want to go. That's y'all right to go. It's your honor to go to the White House. That's fine. Y'all earned that Super Bowl. But when it becomes a conversation with the second thing you said, like the perception or how will people look at you if they do go type thing. And that's where my problem come into play, Sean. Like I said, I don't want to go too over deep in the conversation. Like you said, that's not what we do. We usually do sports. Because, okay, if you send in a message by not going, why are you doing it? You know what I'm saying? Don't just be doing it because, hey, I gotta not go, even though I want to go. Because if I do go, it's gonna set this perception and people gonna look at me different or say this about me. Uncle, I'm trying my best not to say no word, but you get with that point. And then if you do the opposite, you know what I'm saying, then it still is gonna be something about, like, it's always gonna be a problem. I feel like if you're gonna do something, make sure you have a reason. Do it for a purpose. Don't do it for you worry about your image, because it's just as bad as the opposite side, whatever side you look at. If you don't have a reason or a purpose for why you're doing something or showing what you're standing for, just be regular, bro. It truly don't matter. That irritates me more than them probably would just be going, because I don't care. I think you should go. But don't tell me no or don't tell me yeah, and you don't really have no purpose of why you're doing it. I'm just only doing it, or I'm only doing this because I want to look bad this way, or I'm only not going because I don't want people to be calling me this, and that. Like, no, that's not real. Do what you genuinely feel.
And again, I think that's okay to a point, but I also don't want to ever discount that there's a social responsibility that comes with having the platform that these players and even, those who do this type of work have, that it's not always just about you.
No, 100%.
And, and so in that vein, I hope none of the Eagle players want to go. Because again, I think there are much bigger issues and things at play that extend beyond them. But I do know that going right now with everything going on is counterproductive to what I think many of them are about. And I hope they see that and make the decision appropriately.
We're going to end on that one, but y'all be prepared. Because they've 9 out of 10 probably. Which I they're grown man. Do what you want to do. I have no fight in the war either way. Do what you want to do. Yeah. But next on the list, Joel Embiid is back in the news again for the same thing that he always are in the news for. The knee problem, the injuries. Joel Embiid is also considering other doctors or alternative options for his injured knee. Embiid has been battling through the knees and getting treatment during the season, including injections. Ooh-wee. The former MVP experienced swelling in his left knee following Saturday's defeat to the Brooklyn Nets. Embiid is set to undergo tests on his knee early this week and will reportedly work with his team and specialists on a plan going forward based on those results. Whoo, another day, another Joel Embiid injury. Yeah, Sean, what you think about this, man?
I think this goes back to what we said last summer, that Embiid had no business playing in the Olympics.
He was jumping and running in the Olympics. He looked real healthy to me.
I think there are many people who look at Joel Embiid and say your first responsibility should have been to be ready and healthy for the Philadelphia 76ers. And if you watched him in the Olympics, it was clear he wasn't 100% in the Olympics.
No.
Had no business being there. The Sixers, I think, at this point, considering where they are in their season, shut them down.
Yes.
Shut them down.
Thank you. Thank you.
And they may have to, I think, consider doing the same thing with Paul George, but for a different reason.
Grant him permission like Matthew Stafford.
Permission. Well, I mean, again, what Paul George's trade value will be this offseason, I think it will be a major question. But that said, I think they have to consider it just because they're not a playoff team. I mean, if they go on a great streak, they'll be lucky to squeeze into the bottom part of the Eastern Conference playoffs. That's just not them right now. They've got to consider that draft pick that is lottery or that has protections on it that's owed to OKC this summer. If they want to keep it and try to bear the best to keep it, shut it down. Get ready for 2025. But I do think there's going to be major questions this offseason about whether or not Joel Embiid and Paul George should even be 76ers going in the next season. I think the only person in their quote-unquote big three that's guaranteed a spot is Tyrese Maxey at this point.
Yes.
But, what's those guys' value on the trade market? What can they get in return for two guys who clearly either A, are not available, or B, past their prime? As major questions. So I do think at this point it's just time for the Sixers to shut him down and move forward.
1,000%. Shut Joel Embiid down. Like what? Look, I'll shut Joel Embiid down and prepare to trade him in the offseason. Trade him. This is the rare opportunity for what the Philadelphia 76ers have on here. It's rare to be a team. It's rare. Let me say, I want to make sure I say this clear. It's rare to be a team with a superstar with injury problems, and you clearly see he's going down like this. You got his replacement ready. Hand the keys to Tyrese Maxey. And the rookie before he got hurt, the TikTok, what's his name? McCain. That backcourt going to be nice. Trade Paul George. Go and get your take this year out. Hopefully get a high draft pick. Get somebody out this draft. Go back young. Trade Joel Embiid for a couple of pieces to add onto the team. Trade Paul George. I know his value is low. Trade him for whatever you can get. You can literally rebuild the team around Tyrese Maxey and McCain. When I seen those two boys play together without Embiid and Paul George, they were cooking. And I was like, man, if they actually built a team around them, a fast-paced team that get up and down the floor, get a good defensive big, get a 3-and-D wing, oh, yeah, they'll be way better. They'll be a way better team than what they is. Joel Embiid, the process is over. Joel Embiid has shown you that he cannot stay healthy. Joel Embiid has shown he cannot stay healthy enough to make a deep playoff run. The championship window for the 76ers is closed. It's over, guys. So I'm sorry for anybody who's a Philadelphia fan. You always want to trade a guy a year early instead of a year too late. Yes, that's it. Also, Sean, so we got a little extra time. It was two stories that I thought about putting up in here. Did you hear about the Woj auctioning off his stuff?
No.
So Adrian Woj is auctioning off the Woj bomb phone. So he just his iPhone that he was dropping Woj bombs off of. I'm not buying no other man iPhone just because he dropped Woj bombs on it. Now, if I get this phone and it's possibility of text conversations for having, I bet that phone. Let's see what these teens been talking to you about. Then I consider buying that. But if it's just that like he cleared all the stuff out and this is just the phone that I had the Woj bombs on, I'm good on that. But would you consider buying a Woj bomb phone, John?
I mean, if there's all the information and things in the phone, like contacts and stuff, yeah, it would be great to have. I'll tell you this, SB. There was a show that came on for 3 seasons, one of my favorite sitcoms of the last probably 10 years, called Southside. And the show takes place on the south side of Chicago. Hilarious, absolutely hilarious show. But one of the episodes was about this party promoter passing away. He was like the biggest party promoter in Chicago. And everybody wants his phone because he's got all the contacts and everything. And they want to be the next. They want to, his name was Shake. They want to take over for Shake. That's really what this Woj thing is like, Woj is gone. And, we want to be the next Woj. And if you get that phone, you got a chance to be the next Woj. So that's why it's probably got some value. But again, that's assuming that the contacts are all still up to date, good, because guys change numbers all the time. And so,
and then also how you got to be in there because how I know you could just give me any iPhone. I need to know. I need the proof that you Woj bomb. Let me see the Woj bomb because you really just write it on Twitter anyway. So you gonna give me access to your Twitter account too? Yeah. I need to see the messages. I need to see that. Then the last quick one too. Did you get the chance to see before we get into like our last little segment? Did you get a chance to see Andre Iguodala the jersey retirement?
I saw bits of it.
I think it was well deserved. It did, even though Max Kellerman made it a moment. I want Iguodala, so now it's like a forever thing. But what I had to realize too, though, Sean, going back to the Iguodala when he went to the Warriors, like people don't understand how big of a franchise changing move that was. Like that took the Warriors to the next level. Like I can honestly say, like grabbing Iguodala was probably one of the best moves made in like the past year. If you really look at it, like Iguodala really took them to the next level, brought them to a dynasty, won 4 championships with a commitment. He was there from the beginning, from the beginning, and even took a reduced role for the betterment of the team. Like he came off the bench so Harrison Barnes could start. But how do you rate Iguodala's Warriors run real quick? Because I was just seeing it and I was like, I meant to talk about this. But how do you rate that Warriors move? Is that one of the best moves over the last couple of years? And where you see Iguodala ranking as a Warrior all time, not all time as a Warrior.
As a Warrior all time, it's probably he's outside the top 10. If we're being honest, when you talk about all time Warriors, but guys like Andre Iguodala, I think Iguodala has had an incredibly interesting career because when he was drafted to kind of be a wing next to Allen Iverson. The Sixers trade Allen Iverson and kind of really hand him the keys to the franchise, and he becomes an all-star. And then he's traded to Denver as a part of the 14 trade with Dwight Howard and Andrew Bynum and all of that stuff. And he's only in Denver very briefly, but then he goes to the Warriors and he goes to the Warriors, and his first year there under Mark Jackson, he's starting And then Steve Kerr comes in and basically says, hey, for the betterment of the team, we really need you to come off the bench. And he buys in. And every great championship dynasty, when you look at them, always have a great six man. And Andre Iguodala was that for the Warriors, because you knew it's basically having a sixth starter.
Yep.
He was their sixth starter. He was their manager Nobly. He was their Michael Cooper. He was that guy for them, and it mattered. So he's going to go down as one of the greatest Warriors ever, because he embodies what that team was about, which was, we're all in, and, there's no egos here. We're all about winning. And that decision, I think, ultimately is going to push him into the Hall of Fame. And it's going to be very interesting, because I think we're going to have the same conversations about Drew Holiday in a couple of years when eventually he hangs up, that those two guys, the teams that they're on, are not winning without those guys. That's how valuable they are. And so Andre Iguodala, I definitely think is one of the best ever. And again, is a surefire Hall of Famer at some point.
He's gonna make it to Hall of Fame. There's no question. That Warriors run alone made him a Hall of Fame. Because remember, it's basketball Hall of Fame, not NBA Hall of Fame. So the Warriors run made him a Hall of Famer already. And then him making that decision to come off the bench made him a Finals MVP.
Right.
Yeah. So Iguodala, man, it is crazy how it's run when he was that kid next to a athletic dude jumping out of the gym. Because that's the first thing you always remember about Iguodala. Six of Iguodala, all you see him coming down the lane is gonna be a windmill thunderous slam. Did he go to Denver? Whatever, short brief run at Denver. Goes to the Warriors and changed the whole game. But it was well deserved for him to get his jersey retired. I think everybody a part of that Warriors run gonna get their jersey retired. Dre, of course, Steph, Clay, KD, Iguodala now. KD getting retired. They said
no. I know. I'm saying. I think the names you mentioned. That's it. I don't think there's anybody else that you say. Oh yeah. I think Sean Livingston already got his jersey retired, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, I don't know. No, not by the Warriors. I don't think so. Do we?
I thought the Warriors did, but maybe not. Hold on.
Sean Livingston, the dog, by the way, too.
Yeah. Hold on. Yeah.
Let me know.
I want to say they did. Maybe they did.
Oh wait. Did they retire his number? I don't know.
Yeah. If they did, I don't think anybody else has worn it. But so, and I know he works in the front office now. So
part of the team,
yeah.
Now I don't think they would. I don't think they retired yet. But Sean Livingston was a big key piece to that team too. Andrew Bogut, Zaza David Lee. Yeah, now they had if you really look at like that Warriors run and what they was doing, the moves they was making, it was crazy. They didn't even to like add on to the move. You make a team so good, they go 73-9, then they add Kevin Durant, like the second best player in the league. Hey, the GM was cooking during that time. But bring it up, like talk about that and trade stuff. We gotta do a trade deadline team reports early, way too early team reports. Only got 3 teams on the list, Sean. We're gonna keep it short, simple, brief, because obviously main two. There's nothing really to talk about. One of them only threw in because obviously you see Sean logo. I don't know if Sean gonna have a lot to say, but we're gonna find out. Okay, way too early trade deadline team report 1. Los Angeles Lakers. Obviously, the Lakers have been up and down with the trade of Luka Doncic. I believe they just snapped their losing streak to the Denver Nuggets. Have been 9 straight, but the Lakers are. Let me see. What is the first last game? They won out of 5 games. They won 3, so they 3-2 with the Luka Doncic trade. What is your assessment so far of the Lakers? Is having championship aspirations a little too much for this team now?
Yes.
He said, look, you need to give it a chance. Yes. So you think it's a little bit overhyped. But what you think about the Lakers so far with this way too early trade deadline?
I mean, it's early. Obviously, this is the honeymoon phase, if you will. You know, this is when you first meet somebody and they're great and they open the door for you and you know they make you something to eat without asking.
Every time you come through the door, they're happy to see you.
And in your mind, you think, you know what? I think I can marry this person. But you got to give them some time, right? That's what the Lakers are in right now. They're in this great honeymoon phase, you know, with Luka and the excitement around Luka.
Luka magic.
and also, you know, if we're being frank, you know, their schedule is going to get a little tougher.
Yes.
You know, let's see how, you know, they're able to manage, you know, the schedule, but they're playing well. You know, can't take anything away from that. But that said, all the, you know, oh man, they're a real contender. No, they're not. Let's not do that.
It's going to be a couple more pieces. But also, my second question though, for sure. Obviously, Luka is better with the ball in his hands.
Yes.
LeBron is great with the ball in his hands. Luka is not as great off ball. He can do it, but he's not as elite. You go get your value for Luka with the ball in his hands. Question is LeBron gonna move out the way? The obvious answer is he should. You're 40, it shouldn't be no question. And I think it's JJ Redick's job to tell LeBron straight to the face, hey, bro, you got to get out the way. But, you know, LeBron has the ultimate say-so. So, will LeBron get out the way and let Luka be the person that he needs to be Luka Doncic?
I mean, I think that's still an ongoing process. I think what they're going to have to do, at least early on, and you've seen them kind of doing it some, is staggering their minutes.
Yeah.
The person that's really kind of getting affected the most is Austin Reeves. You know, because again, Austin Reeves is a guy who kind of needs the ball in his hands. And so I think that's you know, that's the person who's kind of got to figure it out. But that said, that's an ongoing process. It's not going to happen overnight. And, you know, we'll see, you know, that, you know, what happens in Blue Boat. They got a shot in their ass. They're not winning nothing. Let's not even do that.
I think they need more. I think they need more pieces. That's especially a big man, because you go run into somebody. Don't get me wrong. I would not want to play if I'm any top team. I would not want to play the Lakers in the first round. I tell you that. But I still think they are big and like another rotational player away. Honestly, they need a big rotation. They need like two bigs rotation. I know they got Jackson. He athletic, but they need a big man, and they also need like another person off the bench. Maybe like an off ball, maybe a 3-and-D guy, another knockdown shooter. But
and can I tell you a secret, SB? Everybody's talking about that LA team. It's the other LA team people need to pay a little more close attention to.
I ain't falling for that trap no more, Sean.
No.
I ain't falling for it no more.
No, hold on. I'm just saying, with the emergence of Norman Powell and obviously James Harden, and if they get a healthy Kawhi, with Zubac playing well, with Ty Lue, I think, again, you know, they're a team that they're going to give some teams some fits. But they, like every other team, have questions, and they need a lot of things to break their way to go on a run. But that said, and they are really good defensively. They're the second-rated defensive team in the league this season. You know, so I never count a team playing defense at that level. I never count them out, particularly if they get, you know, what they need from their quote-unquote star players.
Shout out Ty Lue. He got Ben Simmons playing basketball again. But also, the reason I said I'm not falling for that trap, because right when you was like, yeah, they're good defensively. Yeah, they got this going on. If they get a healthy Kawhi, that's right there. That's why I'm not falling for that. That's banana and tailpipe every time with them. He ain't gonna be healthy. I'm not.
No. I'm not saying anything's guaranteed with them. You don't know with them, mostly because of Kawhi. But if they get Kawhi healthy with what they have and Ty Lue, I don't count them out.
I'll try to get rid of Kawhi if I was them. Get some Blue Balls. I don't know if they really dismantled the Nuggets series, so they.
I mean, it's one of 82. That's why you can't go get too high, too low. It's 1 of 82. You move on.
I got real humble with that before as a fan. This was Derrick Rose era. Sean, you know the MVP year. we swept y'all during the season. I'm talking Greek, yeah, because I have my boys. We was school time hooping on the team. My boys, they was Heat fans, D-Wave. Yeah, we swept y'all during the season. Wait till we see y'all in the playoffs. It's going down. We beat y'all during the season. We finna beat Rose, finna go ahead and break up the big three. Boy, Eastern Conference Final come. Reality check spanked me so quick, but it was real. We won game one. Ain't win another game since then. It got real quick. I went from like talking smack. Then I went to like, then I went like this, then I went like this, and I was like, oh man, it was bad. It was bad. On to the next one. Way too early trade deadline report. Checking on the team. The new GW State Warriors, with Sean's former player, Jimmy Buckets. I'm trying to think, when did Jimmy, what was their first game with Jimmy? It was against the Chicago Bulls.
Chicago.
So 1, 2. Oh, the Warriors are undefeated so far with the acquisition of Jimmy Butler.
I think they're 5. I think they lost one game. They lost one game.
No, they didn't.
No, I think they lost one game.
No, they lost to the Mavericks. You're right. They lost to the Mavericks. So they are 5-1. 5-1 with Jimmy Buckets. How you think this move is for the Warriors? Draymond Green obviously said they are winning a championship. He guarantees a championship now. So how is the Warriors championship ready?
Championship ready. Not going to put that designation on them. I think the Warriors are obviously certainly interesting. Steph is playing with a different energy. Now with the addition of Jimmy Butler, the key for the Warriors to me is when they get Kuminga back, because Kuminga started to really come into his own this season. He got hurt. When he comes back, and his ability to fill in as kind of that third scorer that they need. And as long as, Steph and Jimmy and Draymond are playing well with Kuminga and they get enough from their rotational guys, they're not going to be an easy out because they do have championship medal, obviously. Yeah. But that said, this may all be smoke and mirrors at this point. And again, a little bit of the honeymoon thing with Jimmy. Jimmy got his joy back because Jimmy got his money.
His money, yeah. I'd be happy too. I need my money.
So I think that there's some of that, but also again, it's going to come down to, particularly for me, when they get Kuminga back, them integrating Kuminga and them finding the symbiosis they need with their rotation. And Steve Kerr, again, I think he understands that this is an evolutionary process for the rest of the season. And they're just trying to make sure they finish and get into that top 8. That's it. They're probably going to be a play-in team, but they just want to make sure they get into that top 8 and get to the point where they don't have to win 2 play-in games, but maybe 1 play-in game to get in the playoffs.
Like what I just said about the Los Angeles Lakers, I will not want to play the Golden State Warriors in the first round. Jimmy Butler turns to a different player during the playoffs. I will put that he's not a champion, but he has that winning pedigree of a champion. He led Miami Heat to the finals twice at the end of the day. And one of the times y'all was a play-in team, he led y'all to the finals, correct, right?
Yes.
That's something that you can't hold no slouch to it. Then also, I think the Warriors are more dangerous because Jimmy get him a different dynamic from the point of like another guy will go get you a buck. He's not KDS, but he like how it was when they had KD, where it's like, okay, Steph can't do it. We go to Jimmy in the fourth. Jimmy will knock down that shot. And Jimmy defends, and then Jimmy bring a different dynamic from the mid-range game, from the post game, and defensively. I think he's playmaking ability too. I think he helps on both sides with the Warriors. I gotta still see a little bit more for them, but I can tell you right now, I'm looking very high on the Lakers and the Warriors. I still think they're not ready yet. I still think the Warriors and the Lakers probably need like a different big, or they just need another guy. But with that even being said, I still would not want to play the Warriors in the first round. I would, if I'm any time OKC, I would not want to play the Warriors in the first round. I won't. Like only team I probably wouldn't be worried about they play like the Warriors or the Lakers like Denver, because they got that experience. Because that's what people not like really looking at the point of like that experience, that pedigree matters. And for a young team like an OKC, you don't want to go play the Warriors. Remember when the Kings lost to the Warriors, and that at the end of that game 7, that pedigree, that ability that I have been here before, that makes a difference.
Well, and let's not forget the Thunder did add, 2 guys with, some playoff experience. Obviously, Caruso won a championship, and Hartenstein has been in the playoffs. So honestly, their big thing is health and making sure that Chet and their guys are healthy going into playoffs. But I don't think they're worried about any team in the West. I think their thing is just we want to be healthy and we want to be able to match up with any team in the West, regardless of their championship experience or whatever. That's their big thing. So I don't think they're worried about any team, honestly.
If the playoff was set today, just for the Lakers and the Warriors, the Lakers will be playing the Rockets right in the first round. They would probably smack the Rockets, even though the Rockets would give up a good fight because the Rockets are very good young team and defensively, and the Warriors would be in the play-in.
And I'm not going to say they will smack the Rockets because again, the Rockets have the one thing the Lakers don't have. They have an all-star center in Al P. Sure. That's his nickname, by the way. I'm calling him
Al P. Sure is crazy.
Al P. Sure, yeah. And he's a kind of a low-budget joker. He's not a joker, but kind of a low-budget joker.
Yeah.
And also, defensively, Houston gets after it. Their big thing is, to your point, SB, they don't have a lot of experience, but they do have guys on their team that have won championships, and Fred VanVleet and Jeff Green. Those guys that have championship, medal. But it's going to come down to, can they, get their kind of issues fixed, on this last, 30-something game run before the end of the season.
Look, Sean, for the pull a cliche on you real quick. If the Lakers play the Rockets, it could be Rocket, Socket, or Bop It. Lakers at 5. I put my money on the Lakers. Lakers at 5. But last one on the list, Sean. Only put them on the list because this is your team. The Jimmy Butler-less Miami Heat. Right down since the Jimmy Butler trade. Well, honestly, I can't say since Jimmy Butler trade. He ain't been playing. But I could say your last 5 games. Y'all playing right now. Y'all up right now against the Hawks. Oh, no, y'all down.
We're down by 5.
Win 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think y'all 1 and 4. 1 and 4 your last 5 games.
Mm-hmm.
Are you got any concerns with the Jimmy Butler as Heat? Like, what is your expectation? What's your report right now for the team?
Again, you're integrating 3 new guys in a rotation. 2 are starting in Davion Mitchell and Andrew Wiggins. It takes time. So I'm not going crazy. I like the way guys are playing. The big problem a concern I have right now is the inability to hold on to leads in the fourth quarter. And double-digit leads in the fourth quarter in particular. That's been the biggest struggle for the Heat this year with and without Jimmy Butler. But that said, I like the makeup of this team. This is a team that's, just, again, finding its identity with these new pieces. Defense first should be the identity, but still evolving. And at the end of the day, again, Coach Spo, Bam, Tyler Hero, these guys are going to, give you everything they got in a playoff series. So I'm not worried about the Heat at all.
For me, I think y'all have for the Heat to be successful. I didn't have no expectations for y'all with Jimmy Butler. I said I had no expectations for y'all without Jimmy Butler. I just thought y'all probably be like a playoff team because y'all going to go for the playoffs. The Heats don't tank. That's not y'all way. Y'all never tank. But I think y'all should be, for y'all to be successful, and y'all have the pieces to do it, y'all should be top 5 defense in the league. Number 1. You got Davion Mitchell, Wiggs, Bam. Y'all should be shooting for that. And I think once y'all get that down pack being one of the best defenses in the league, then you can start seeing the changes of what this team could really be. But like you said, it does take time to gel. Also, is I'm finally getting my wish to they go unleash Bam, and Bam finally got the keys to the car. This is Bam team.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's Bam's team, but obviously Tyler Hero is the leading scorer, and people are going to look at him, and he obviously made the playoffs this year, or made the All-Star team this year. But that said, I think obviously when you look at, who's the face, who's the leader, it's Bam Adebayo, and so yeah.
Yeah, I won't. People don't understand. Michael Beasley said this about manager. Michael Beasley. I know it's 1-on-1, but for anybody in the chat be like, that's 1-on-1. That's not it's different than 5-on-5. I don't care. Michael Beasley is one of the most skilled players that ever come in the NBA. 1-on-1, probably one of the best 1-on-1 players in the league. Could beat a lot of players. He beat y'all GOAT every day in practice. That's LeBron, by the way. But LeBron not a 1-on-1 player. So they ain't really saying too much. But Bam was working Beasley, and he literally said on multiple occasions, they not even using Bam to his full power. Like, he got so many different skills and abilities that they're not letting him do. He said, bro, Bam is pretty much like a point guard. He can literally be a point guard. He got the skill. He can dribble. He can shoot. He can finish. He can create his own shot. He can post up. He can pass. Unleash Bam, bro. Like, I don't understand how you got this skilled player and not using him. Ain't no excuse now. I get it with Jimmy. Play you, bro, dude. It's no excuse. Unleash Bam Adebayo. Bam should be – what's Bam's stats right now?
He's like 16. He's like 17 and 10. He's like 17.
That's unacceptable. Unacceptable. I'm sorry. Bam right now, 16, 10. I need 20. I need 24 and 12 out of Bam Adebayo. 24, 12, and 6 a game. I can see him doing that every game. 24, and that's not too much to ask for him. 24 points, 11. You want to do 11 and 12 too much? 11 to 12 rebounds, and 6 to 7 assists with a block again.
So I just say this real quick with Bam. Bam is not someone I look at and I say numbers. I look at Bam in terms of the other things that don't show up in the stat sheet necessarily with him. He does a lot for the team, particularly defensively. And again, he has a lot of abilities, as Michael Beasley mentioned, but he's not someone that's going to necessarily say, oh, everything needs to come through me. He's someone that says, hey, he's a team guy first. Mm-hmm. And he's going to be about what we need to do as a team to win, and I'll do my job to help our team win. And so that means me taking, 15, 16 shots a night. Cool. If it means me tonight, I'm only taking 5 or 6. He's fine as long as they win. Mm-hmm. So with him, his value will never be completely quantified in numbers. It's going to be about the other things that you see on the floor that he does. So I'm not again. I love Bam. I hope Bam is a Heat lifer in my mind, and I'm good with that.
Not with the new CBA.
Well, no, I think he is. He's already signed his extension. He signed his extension this past off season, so he's not going anywhere anytime soon. But I think the central point is that his value will never be in the box score. It's always going to be in other areas that aren't always quantified.
All right, Sean. Episode 46. Who you got?
Andy Pettit.
Andy Pettit. Ooh, okay. I like Andy Pettit. I like that. I like Andy Pettit. Oh, I'm trying to find a player. I was looking. Let me see. Yeah, it's not really. Ooh, hey. What was that? Is this Travis Outlaw? Is it? No, that's not. Let's say Bo Outlaw. Oh, I can't pick him. Ooh, I don't know, Sean. I'm gonna go Andy Pettit with you. 46 is a bad number. So yeah, we gonna do that. I'm gonna agree with you on that one. Appreciate you guys for watching. It's been another great episode of Real Takes Over Fake Debates with SB and Sean Webb, and we will see you guys on the next one. Peace.